Welcome back to the Gridiron Expert. We have broken down the top 5 biggest games of each power conference, and now we're pulling all of those things together to bring you the top 5 biggest games that will determine the college football playoff in 2024. The games that will have the biggest impact on the playoff this season, and we're bringing them to you right now. So welcome back, guys. We're so glad you could join us today. As always, please continue to like, comment, subscribe, share our videos, and check out everything down in the description below. That includes our expert picks on our website, thegridironexpert.com. Some of the best college football spread picks in the entire country for one of the lowest prices in the country. It's about 33 cents per pick. That's it. You do not want to miss out on that. We've beat out the handicappers, national handicappers, 6 years in a row. 6 years in a row, we have done that. You do not want to miss out on that. This year, we have some exclusive content to go along with the expert picks. All more reason to go check it out. Sign up today. Also, check out our mailing address. Send us some of your team's gear to be featured in every single video, guys. Everything back here has been sent in by you guys, members of the GE Nation. We want to represent your team. We want to give you that shout out. We want to continue to expand our GE Nation, our college football community from coast to coast. So tons of exclusive content and offers down in the description below. Go check it out. And again, make sure to comment. Make sure to like, hit that notification button so you don't miss out on any future content, because prediction season is right around the corner. And with prediction season, you'll find out how we believe these top 5 games are going to go. You'll find out who we believe is going to make this new 12-team college football playoff. And as you know, with this 12-team playoff, the format is a little bit interesting. The top 4 highest-ranked conference champions will get a bye week. That's massive. Some of these games will determine who gets a bye week and who doesn't. Then, of course, there's going to be 7 at-large teams, and there's going to be one other conference champion, whether it's the Group of 5 conference champion, whether it's a power conference champion, that does not get that first-round bye, right? So that's kind of how this works. There are 5 games that I think are going to have a major outcome on maybe who gets the bye week, who doesn't get the bye week, who gets to host. Remember, the first-round game is going to be played on campus, so if you're the 5, 6, or 7 seed, you might be able to get to host, or the 8 seed, I should say, too. You might be able to get to host a game on your campus, have a true home game for the college football playoff. If you're not one of those seeds, you're 9, 10, 11, 12, you don't. So, I mean, it could be a matter of who gets to play at home, who doesn't. So these games have a major, major role. And they're not listed in any specific order. They're not going to be listed from biggest to least biggest. They're going to be listed in just order of how they occurred this year, the date. They're listed by date. So coming in at number 1, we have September 7th, week 2, Texas at Michigan. Michigan, the reigning national champions who own the nation's longest winning streak, they face a Texas team in their first year in the SEC that was just 1 play away from facing Michigan in the national championship last year. And this game is so big to me because both teams are college football playoff contenders. Both teams are legitimate contenders within their respective conferences. But the loser of this game, the margin of error is very, very slim down the road. I mean, you think about that, how tough the SEC is, how tough the Big Ten is. This is one of the biggest non-conference games of the year. The winner gets a huge resume-boosting win. The loser, they can't slip up hardly anywhere else. They might be able to slip up once. I think plenty of 2-loss teams are going to get into the playoff. But you look at what they're up against. Michigan, after Texas, they've got to play USC, Washington, Oregon, and Ohio State. Texas, they've got to play Oklahoma, Georgia, Texas A&M, maybe a tricky game at Arkansas if you want to throw that in there. I mean, life in the SEC is tough. And then even if Texas navigates that, they've got to play in the SEC championship against maybe Georgia again, maybe Alabama. Who knows who it'll be against? So the margin of error is very, very slim for both of these programs. That is why September 7th is a massive, massive game and will have a major impact on the shape of the playoff by season's end. Coming in on September 28th, we've got Georgia at Alabama. Just the 3rd regular season meeting between these two since 2008. We've seen them plenty in the SEC championship and the college football playoff and a few national championships in there as well. But regular season, we don't get to see the Dogs and the Tide face off very often. This is a big game. It's a chance for Kalen DeBoer to show that, yes, Nick Saban's gone, but Alabama can still win. Night game in Tuscaloosa. Kirby Smart, Kalen DeBoer. But once again, like Texas and Michigan, the margin of error very slim for both of these programs. Coming into this game, Georgia will have already played Clemson. Alabama will have already played a road game at Wisconsin. Both teams are expected to win those games, but if one of those teams were to lose one of those games prior to facing each other, I mean, God, the margin of error really is slim. This game becomes even bigger. But then after that, Georgia's got to go to Texas. They've got to go to Ole Miss. They've got to play Tennessee. Alabama has to go to Tennessee. They've got to play Missouri. They've got to play LSU. They've got to go to Oklahoma. So, I mean, it's life in the SEC, but the schedule is very, very tough after that. One of these teams is taking a loss on September 28th, and whoever it is, they really can't afford to slip up again the rest of the year, and they've got a very difficult schedule to navigate. So many great storylines surrounding this game, but obviously I think the bigger stress factor here is what happens after. How does Georgia or Alabama navigate the rest of their schedule, the final 2 months of the year where they lost on their record? October 12th, Ohio State at Oregon. I am so excited for this game. This is one of the best games of the entire year, at least on my list. Arguably the two best teams in the Big Ten this season. Oregon is a newcomer. First year in the Big Ten, they're already one of the best in the conference. This is the game that absolutely could determine who goes to the Big Ten championship, which in turn could result in who gets a top 4 seed. So this game on October 12th could literally determine whether Ohio State or Oregon gets that first round bye. And the other one has to play in the opening round. More than likely they get to play at home. They'd probably be a 5 seed, 6 seed, whatever, but still. You want that bye week, and it could be determined right here. The Big Ten champion could be determined right here. No doubt about it. You've got two teams that are very strong, going to have great quarterback play. Ohio State dominated in the transfer portal, but Oregon right behind them, loading up on both sides of the ball through the transfer portal. One of the biggest transfers, of course, Dylan Gabriel coming in from Oklahoma, giving them a seasoned veteran quarterback, one of the best in the entire country. Both teams are expected to be unbeaten entering this game, so a potential top 5 showdown in Eugene with massive, massive implications. And then you look at what they've got coming after that. Oregon then has to go to Michigan and Wisconsin. Ohio State still has a game at Penn State, and then, of course, Michigan. So very tough games after this. But the winner of this is going to control their own destiny in the conference and control their own destiny in where they are placed in the 12-team playoff. So a massive, massive game here. Again, probably top 3 for me. Out of all the games on the schedule this year, top 3 for me in Eugene. I'm so excited for this one on October 12th. October 19th, just a week later, we've got Georgia at Texas. The question I have for this game is, does either team have a loss? Does either of these teams have a loss at this point? Because that's where this game gets interesting. Does Georgia lose to Alabama? Do they lose to Clemson? Does Georgia come in with a blemish on their record? Texas, have they lost to Michigan already? Do they lose to Oklahoma? Do they have a blemish on their record? Because whoever has a loss, if there is one, this game becomes so much bigger because you can't afford to take a second or maybe even a third if, heaven forbid, one of these teams has 2 losses at this point. That's maybe a little bit unlikely, but a lot riding on this game. It could really serve as a college football playoff / SEC title elimination game if one of these teams has a losses and then loses again in Austin. But what a battle. 2 of the best quarterbacks in the country, Carson Beck versus Quinn Ewers. It's going to be an amazing crowd in Austin, kind of a welcome to the SEC moment for Texas, getting to play the best team in the conference, but they're getting to play them on their home turf in Austin. It's going to be electric. It's going to be absolutely epic. But again, could serve as a conference title elimination game. If that's the case, that guarantees that Georgia or Texas is not going to be a top 4 seed in the college football playoff. So a lot riding on this game, especially if one of these teams, or both, have a loss prior to October 19th. And then finally, the game. November 30th, the season finale, Michigan at Ohio State. It's always massive, and it has been for years. With the 4-team playoff format, this game has held so much weight. It's been a matter of the winner of this goes to the Big Ten championship. You knew Ohio State or Michigan was going to win the Big Ten title over whoever the representative was out of the Big Ten West. So really, the season finale between Michigan and Ohio State was essentially a college football playoff play-in game, and Michigan has won the last 3 years. So Ohio State desperately needing to beat their rival, could be undefeated at this point, maybe a 1-loss team, but this is maybe a Big Ten title play-in game, which would allow the opportunity for Michigan or Ohio State to get a top 4 seed in the college football playoff. So a lot is riding on this game. That's been the case for the last few years. It's going to once again be the case now. Does Ohio State snap their losing streak to the Wolverines? They're getting to play them in Columbus. They loaded up on the transfer portal to finally beat Michigan, to finally get through to the college football playoff. They should get there this year, but where are they? How easy is their path? You know, Ohio State fans are going to be thrilled to make the playoff and have a shot for a natty, but they're not going to be thrilled if they missed out on a chance for a first-round bye, or heaven forbid they miss out on an opportunity to host a playoff game if they lose to their bitter rival once again. So a lot riding on this game on November 30th, not just in the Big Ten, but for the playoff as well. So, guys, those to us. There's so many other big games. Games that missed the list. Ole Miss, LSU, Texas, Oklahoma, Ohio State, Penn State, Notre Dame, Texas A&M, Georgia, Ole Miss, Alabama, LSU. Those are just a handful of games that didn't even make this top 5 list. Top 5 games that will affect and determine the college football playoff. But leave some of yours down in the comments below. Who else did we miss? What games did we not address? We want to hear from you. Leave them below. Leave your thoughts on these 5 games. Share your predictions if you want to. We'll be giving you ours here in just a little over a month. You do not want to miss out on that. But season's going to be here before we know it, and these 5 games are going to be must-see TV over the course of the season. So, guys, as always, thank you so much for watching us here at the Gridiron Expert on YouTube. Make sure to continue to like, comment, subscribe, share our videos, and, of course, check out everything down in the description below. That includes our website, thegridironexpert.com, home of our best-selling expert picks, some of the best college football spread picks in the entire country that have beat out over 80% of the national handicappers each of the last 6 years. Sign up today and you get some more exclusive content along with those picks. Check it out. The link's down in the description below. Same for our mailing address. Same for all of our other exclusive content to help you get through this season as we are inviting you to join our growing GE Nation. And once again, guys, as always, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time right here on the Gridiron Expert.